Hey guys, good morning. I wanted to come on here and share a message of revelation that I got from the Lord that I believe is for two groups of people, skeptics and those who are confronted in situations, confronted with skepticism. I want to set up a challenge for all of the skeptics out there, whether they be agnostic, whether they be an atheist, whether they be just a skeptic of the gospel in general. Maybe you're a believer in something else. Maybe you're a believer in New Age. Maybe you're a believer in just purely mind over matter, and you believe that just the mind is the source of everything. Whatever perspective you view the gospel from, if you are skeptic of Jesus and who he is, and who people say he is, and what people say he's done, and what people say he could do for you, please listen up, because God has a very strong message for you today. I challenge you. I challenge you to add an unless to your I won't believe, because I believe it's in John chapter 20. I believe it's in John chapter 20. Thomas, after Jesus has risen from the dead, all the disciples had seen him. All the women had seen him. Mary had seen him. Thomas's reaction was, I won't believe unless I'm able to put my hand in his side. And, basically, I have to see it to believe it. And not only do I have to see it, I have to feel him. Seeing isn't enough. Some people say, well, I have to see it to believe it. For Thomas, that wasn't enough, because he said, unless I put my hand in his side where he was pierced on the cross. I mean, he had to touch Jesus. I have to see and touch him to believe it. So I encourage you to not stop it. I won't believe. I won't believe that. I won't believe that. It's a fairy tale. I won't believe that. I'm glad it adds comfort to you, but I'm not going to believe it. I won't believe it because it sounds foolish. I won't believe it because I got to see and feel evidence to believe something. Well, add an unless, because Thomas did, and guess what God did? 8 days after Thomas said that statement, Jesus showed up and said, Thomas, put your hand in my side. And Thomas did. Jesus honored Thomas's skepticism. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to say, I won't believe unless. Because guess what? We have a God who hears. We have a God who knows our inner thoughts and understands. He may not agree with it or like it, but he understands that there are going to be people walking this earth that he dearly loves, that won't believe until they see or touch, like Thomas. And he honored that with Thomas. He showed up 8 days later, and then he said, Thomas, put your hand in my side. And then he said, after that, he said, happy are those, well, blessed, but the word that was used to write down, basically the original word for blessed is not just blessed, it's happy. Happy are those who believe and do not see. So, 3 things. For those of us who are confronted with people who are skeptics, don't be afraid of skeptics. Don't be afraid of those conversations, because God surely isn't. He's not intimidated by skepticism. He's not intimidated by it at all. Let's welcome it. We're not going to encourage it, but let's welcome it and say, okay, put God to the test then. I know we know the heart of God, for those of us who believe in Christ. And we shouldn't be intimidated by those moments. Let's challenge people to add an unless to their I won't believe. I won't believe unless, and then fill in the blank, and then watch God show up. Point number 2 is for those of you who are going to add an unless to your I won't believe. God did it 8 days later. So be patient with God, because God is God. He doesn't have to answer us, but he wants to, and he loves us. And he's in his sovereignty, creator of all things, heaven and earth. He's going to do it in his way and in his timing. So be patient with God, because with Thomas, Jesus showed up 8 days later. The third point is that Jesus made a point to kind of gently, almost like rebuke Thomas. Like, yes, I'm going to honor your unless. I'm showing up. I'm having you put your hand in my side. He honored that. However, he made a point to clarify that, Thomas, your skepticism doesn't make you happier. Happy are those, blessed, happy are those who don't see and believe, who have that faith that they would just take God at his word and receive him even without believing. Even without seeing and touching. So there are many people on this earth who have greater faith than even me, and they haven't seen Jesus. I've had the pleasure of actually seeing and touching Jesus, and I'm so grateful for that. Whenever I was 16, I had a vision. I was taken up in the spirit. But there are many, 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 many people, most people, who haven't seen Jesus in the flesh and who haven't touched him in the flesh, and they still believe wholeheartedly in the gospel and are, some of them, more on fire than even me. So I just want to encourage you that happy are those who have that faith but do not see. So trust in God. And for those of you who are struggling with trusting in God's promises, see, it was a promise that Jesus would be risen from the dead, that he would raise 3 days later, and he would be alive again. That was a promise from God. However, happy are those who believe in their circumstances, who believe in God's promises, even when they don't see any evidence of it in their circumstance. So happier are those who endure and persevere in their believing, regardless of their circumstance. Okay, God bless you all. I hope this made sense, and I just hope it blesses you. And share with those who don't believe. Share this video with those who are skeptics, who are just not sure yet. They just don't know yet. And just challenge. I just want this challenge to go viral for those of you who say, I don't believe in Jesus. I won't believe. Add an unless, and then watch God's faithfulness show up. Watch God reveal himself to you, because he wants to. Okay, God bless you all, and have a great day.